Fern drove over the hill in her sunshine yellow VW van and smiled as the twinkling blue waves came into view. For someone who had never even seen the sea until she was 14, it was this view of the 3 beaches that made up Apple Hill Bay that she'd seen first, and it always made her smile. This was home now, and despite the fact she had lived with her best friend Etty for the last few years in the next seaside town of Whitecliff Bay, Apple Hill Bay always would be home for her. And now she was living here again, since Etty had got married and moved out of the flat they'd shared together. It was good to be back. She drove down into the valley and parked the van near to the tunnel that led to Blackberry Beach, one of the 3 beaches that made up Apple Hill Bay. She was so excited to be working here today. After Fern had painted murals on the bedroom and garden walls for a few people in town, her mum, Carrie, had persuaded her to set herself up as a mural artist. And today was her first official day for her small business, The Big Picture. She loved painting. It didn't matter what it was. Animals, dinosaurs, superheroes, Disney princesses. She loved it all. For years it had been her escape, but she'd never thought she'd make a living out of it. She could put this job on her newly developed website that her brother Theo had set up for her. And everyone in the town of Apple Hill Bay and other local towns and villages would see her work whenever they came to Blackberry Beach, so she might get more commissions that way. There was only one tiny problem with this commission. Well, 2, actually. The first being that she might not get paid. She supposed the increased visibility and exposure would be a good thing for a new business, but exposure didn't pay the bills. It was part of the reason why she had got this gig. No serious artist would ever work for free, so only a few people had applied for the job. Councillor Bishop had whittled it down to 2 people out of a handful of applications. Which was the second part of the problem. Fern would be competing against someone else for the prize money of £5,000. She would be painting the left half of the tunnel, and Fletcher Harrison, whoever he was, would be painting the right half. The public would choose their favourite by putting tokens in boxes next to the mural they liked the best, and the winner of the Great Mural Painting Competition would be announced on Friday and would win the money. She was determined to win. Not because of the money, although she couldn't deny that £5,000 would be gratefully received, but being able to put the winner of the Great Mural Painting Competition on her website would feel like a wonderful accolade. Admittedly, the competition was between 2 people, so not actually that great after all, but not everyone would know that. Other businesses might employ her based on winning. Fern had looked into Fletcher Harrison as soon as she'd heard she'd be competing against him. She couldn't find anything to say he had an art background. He had a website selling furniture and jewellery made from bits of wood, but there was nothing to indicate he had experience with painting. Carpentry and art didn't necessarily feel like a good mix. Creating something beautiful out of wood didn't mean he could paint. She was kind of hoping he was only in this for the money and his artistic skills would be somewhat limited. She loaded up her trolley with her paints, brushes and other tools and started walking down the tunnel. The tunnel to the beach had been built in Victorian times to transport limestone to the nearby kilns, although the locals had called it Smuggler's Tunnel to make it sound more mysterious than it was. It was a long tunnel that wound its way through the heart of the cliff. There were several sections and corners, which just added to the mystery and intrigue of it, as if she was walking into a different world. But she had made this journey many times, and she knew it came out onto a beautiful little cove. The tunnel, and therefore the beach, was closed for today and Tuesday, while they completed their paintings, so they wouldn't be disturbed.